Gurmeher Kaur, now Sakshi Dhoni, wife of superstar cricketer MS Dhoni, the latest target of online perverts. The First Lady of Indian cricket has been abused, called names and threatened. Her fault? Taking to Twitter to reach out to Information and Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. Earlier, MS Dhoni's personal details were leaked online. And there it began. For no rhyme or reason, the cowardly perverts online, who are absolutely certain that there is no one who can charge them, began their reign of terror. From abusing Sakshi Dhoni, calling her names, to questioning her patriotism.
Cybercrime has become a very serious crime, so I think the government should take necessary measures so that this can be prevented.
Men and women both should have the equal responsibility of not promoting such things and not posting vulgar videos, vulgar photographs. They should be, both of them should know where to limit there and don't cross the limits.
One should report it immediately as soon as if somebody is getting it, because that's the only way you can treat people who are doing such crimes.
With online bullies getting bolder by the day, we ask, when will centers step in and block these dangerous trolls? Bureau Report, Mirror Now.
Well, after we brought you the case of Gurmeher Kaur, who was threatened openly on Twitter and Facebook and trolled in the most merciless manner, it has happened again. Let me remind our viewers, in the Gurmeher Kaur case, not a single, not even one arrest has been made. Not one. It's like the police were completely unable to trace the people who made those threats. And now, the wife of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who did nothing other than ask why were personal details leaked by an agency of the government online, to which the minister in question responded saying, I will look into the matter. She has received the most merciless and disgusting comments on Facebook. We're not going to repeat them on this channel because they're so disgusting. And we've had people who looked through the profiles of these people, and some of them are fairly easy to trace. But somehow we have two problems: a police who will do nothing, and secondly, a law that's absolutely toothless when it comes to this sort of behavior. Do we need a stronger law? Or are these men going to be allowed to run riot and threaten whomever they please on social networking? That's the question we're asking this evening. Is nothing sacred? Let me just give you an example, viewers, of the kind of things that were said to her. It said, only a terrorist will want privacy. We common people want transparency. What right does anybody have? Does anybody have to question Sakshi Dhoni? What right does anybody have to question her patriotism after her husband has done so much for this country? Who are you? You troll in a dark room hiding behind the internet. Shouldn't you be shaken down and brought to the book? Isn't there a law against this behavior? Some of these trolls have gone out to say that she has no shame. How can she request for privacy? Didn't she work in a hotel at one point? What does that have to do with anything? Some others have used words that are, I'm not even allowed to repeat them here on this television screen. I just want you to understand that almost every woman in public life today, whether that person is a journalist or the wife of a famous person, like in this case, or a famous person themselves, they're constantly at risk and constantly being trolled in this manner. Either we have to put up with it, because no one will come up in our defense, and no one will write a law to protect us. Where is the government right now? That's the question we are asking this evening. Joining me on the show, Raman Malik, spokesperson of the BJP. Atul Basan is a former cricketer. Abbas Singh, advocate from Mumbai. Anupam Saraf, former CIO, Pune City, Information and Technology Advisor to Manohar Parrikar in Goa. Ritesh Bhatia, cybersecurity expert. Vikram Singh, former DGP, UP. Saira Shah Halim is a writer and an activist, and Sujay Kantawala is a senior advocate. Abbas Singh, I know that my team sent you a link to the story that we're talking about, and you've taken a look at all of the things that were said about Sakshi Dhoni. We should not be okay with this. I mean, bad enough that not a single arrest was made in the Gurmeher Kaur case, but this is completely unacceptable, Abha.
Definitely, after Gurmeher's case, I think the trolls on social media have become emboldened and they feel they can do anything, write anything, violate any law and get away with it. But what is important is that even the Aadhaar Act clearly says that privacy has to be maintained. Section 28 clearly says. So when there is a provision that you cannot put up anywhere, disclose the information, then how in the first place Sakshi and Dhoni's private information was put on the media? Rather than apologizing, I think they are brazen enough to come forward and say rude, mean, cheap words to her. And I think what is important is because not only that, Aadhaar Act very clearly says, in fact, Section 37 says that whoever who discloses this information, there is imprisonment up to 3 years. There's a fine up to 1 lakh rupees, 10,000 up to 1 lakh. Why it has not been done? In fact, the agency which had recruited this person to go and take the personal information, agency can also be blacklisted. They have not done anything like that. The agency can be punished for up to 1 year's imprisonment is prescribed in the Aadhaar Act. Such strong sections are already there. But people, I think the government, Ravi Shankar Prasad has just apologized rather than taking a strong action, giving a solid message. Because if this is not done, every time people are going to come on the social media, violate the law, demoralize people. I think you cannot say freedom of speech and expression means that anything can be written. This is clear obscenity. This is clear violation of law, and we must act if we want such trends not to become regular.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what has become regular. What has become regular is to target women in public life. Sujay Gandhawala, is the law not strong enough? Do we have absolutely nothing on our side?
Look, the Constitution grants the right to privacy. The Aadhaar Act has been violated. The IPC has been violated. This has outraged the modesty of a woman. This is pure defamation. And under the IT Act, under a specific provision, whatever is flashed on electronic media is admissible in evidence. You don't need to prove anything else. Having said that, this is completely filth. I mean, I cannot imagine that a person of repute is being trolled like this. And what did she do? All that she did was that she tweeted the minister. And in fact, the minister should be applauded because the minister has responded by saying, thanks for bringing this to my notice. Sharing personal information is illegal. Serious action will be taken against this.
But
this is on 28th March in the night.
My question, Sujay, if the minister has responded to this tweet, then he is also aware of all of the responses that have come after that you and I have both read. Shouldn't the minister have taken stronger objection to what was being said? Shouldn't he have said something? Shouldn't he have done something? Raman Malik, shouldn't the minister in question have said or done something here to come to the defense of Sakshi Dhoni? He obviously agreed with her.
See, one must understand a couple of issues here. One, there are two basic issues here which we must differentiate before we debate. One is what Sakshi Dhoni brought to attention of the concerned minister and whatever follows thereafter. And the second part is the trolling. Now, let's address the first part. Whatever had happened is illegal. Yes, the minister agreed to it. The agency has been blacklisted, the person has been blacklisted, they've been barred for 10 years. Subsequent action, whatever has to happen, will happen. Immediate action has already taken into effect. That is one part of it. The second part of it is that you must understand that where we were talking the earlier part of in the debate, the earlier panelists spoke very clearly about trolling and infringement and privacy and freedom of expression. See, freedom of expression
my question,
is one
Raman Malik, my question is, shouldn't the government now, who is aware of what is being said about Mahendra Dhoni's wife on Twitter, shouldn't the government have come out clearly and made a statement saying these people will be taken to the book? Now, you didn't do it for Gurmeher Kaur's case for whatever reason, but in this particular case, the former captain of the Indian cricket team, the one who has brought home the World Cup,
you cannot compare Gurmeher Kaur's case in this case.
Why hasn't the government said anything about this?
You cannot compare the two cases.
Being made? No, why in this case? In this case, why hasn't a statement being made?
Cases.
Why hasn't a statement being made in this case?
See, The statement is very clear. The intent and the bona fide of the government has been very clearly shown by blacklisting, one. Secondly, whatever has to be done about these people who have told her, once a complaint comes in, it will be put into action.
Not strong enough.
That is one part of it. And as far as being trolled...
Not strong enough.
No. Please let
Not
me...
strong enough.
See,
Sorry.
please let me finish what I'm about
As
to say.
a woman in this country who gets
please
trolled on a
listen.
regular basis,
No,
that is not
please
a good
listen to
enough
me.
answer
As
from the
far as
government.
trolling is
Mr.
concerned,
Raman Malik, I'm sorry.
Ma'am,
Allow me to apologize to you, but that's just not
statement.
satisfactory.
This is
There
blatantly
is no fear of
curtailing
the
my
law,
statement.
Mr. Raman Malik.
This is
When the
blatantly
sections are
curtailing my
so
statement.
stringent, how can people defame anyone,
Please,
write
please let
anything
me
on
finish
social
my
media?
statement. Let
We
me
need
finish
to
my
act on
statement.
this because the
This is
message
not
needs
a
to
way
go.
to do a very healthy debate that is going to happen on this. No. Please listen to it. Let me finish my
A
statement.
healthy debate would have
As
happened
far
if
as
you
trolling
started
is
off
concerned,
by
whether it is virtual
condemning these trolls to
whether
begin
it
with.
is
But why is the
virtual
government so
trolling or actual
reluctant
trolling,
to condemn these trolls?
Then you have
we
to
are
take
the
a
same
healthy action.
people.
A
We are
healthy
the
action
same
has to be
people.
taken because
Please,
some respected
please,
wife is
please.
being trolled so miserably.
This is no way to
She's
debate,
been
ma'am.
humiliated.
Ma'am, it would be better if I just
Saira
keep
Shah
shut
Halim.
on the debate.
Saira
No,
Shah
the
Halim.
issue is not debating issues
Would
of
it be
women's
better if I
safety,
keep
it
shut
is
on
a
the
woman's
debate?
respect.
You won't let me say the point,
I would like to
and then you're going to
ask-
keep on...
I would like to ask Mr. Raman one thing here.
Listen, if I am going to be trolled like this on your program,
to ask
it is
Mr.
not
Raman
right.
Malik, with all due
If I'm going to
respect,
be
I will
trolled
have
like
you
this on your
know
program, it is
that
not
you
right.
are nowhere close to being trolled on this program. We are treating you with a great deal of respect, and I allowed you, and I have a clock in front of me, I allowed you a fair deal of time to
because
make
you are
your
not
opening
letting me
statement.
For such
complete
a
my
small
statement.
irritant, you are getting annoyed, Mr. Malik.
You're getting annoyed
No,
for
no,
nothing.
you have
In
been
fact,
interjecting
Mr.
in
Raman
between.
Malik, have you read
have
the
been
things,
interjecting in
Mr.
between.
Raman Malik, have you read
Also
the
for
things that
nothing,
have been
and yet
said
there
to
is
Mahendra
somebody
Singh
who's
Dhoni's
been
wife?
Abused totally on the
Have you
social
read?
media.
Have you read these things? Have you read these things that have been
Hey,
said
for
to
your
her?
information.
Why are you not more upset about that,
For
Mr.
your
Raman Malik? Why are you
information.
upset against? Why are you upset with Abha
Faye,
Singh
for
for
your
asking you questions?
information, at least let me answer. This is amazing. You won't let me answer. You keep pondering questions on me, but you won't
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a minute
As
on my
far as
clock, Raman
trolling
Malik.
is
I'm giving you an
concerned, ma'am, I have
uninterrupted
also faced
minute
trolling.
to tell me why the government has not come out with a stronger
Sure,
statement
thank
against
you.
what has been done to Sakshi Dhoni on the internet. You have a
Sure,
minute. Nobody will interrupt you.
Can I come in here, please? Can I please come in
Okay.
here?
So my time starts now. My point is simple. Whether it is virtual trolling or trolling in person, that has happened over a long period. What have we done on people trolling the now Prime Minister and telling him he's a maut ka saudagar and all of that? So that is also a trolling. That is number one. Number two, I have been personally experienced of trolling, and I have seen that also. I have never blocked anybody on Twitter because it's an open format. 2, 3, anybody who does say anything wrong about the modesty of a woman is practically somebody who is mentally sick. So that part, having said,
That
whatever
would
legal
involve a
action
lot
has
of
to be taken, and in
No,
case
no,
of
no,
Good
no.
Mayor,
You
it
cannot
was
give that
somebody
person
from
a
our
cover
party who
of mentally
forced
sick.
a complaint
I
into the
object.
police, and
See,
it
that is, you're talking like a defense person. You are defending the trolls by saying they are mentally sick.
here?
No,
Can I
they are
please
normal
come in
people
here?
who
Okay, I've
just
given,
work
all
for
right.
security.
I'm giving, okay, one second. We've given Raman Malik, two options to two opportunities to represent the government. A whole minute uninterrupted time. Raman Malik, still not good enough. Still not enough of an answer. Lump it, put up with it. I put up with it. You should put up with it. These people are mentally sick. None of that is good enough. Saira Shah Halim, I'm opening this debate up to the rest of the panel.
No,
Saira Shah
why you
Halim,
should
go
put
ahead.
up with it?
Saira Shah Halim, go ahead.
I was trolled on the Twitter, and I was told I would be
We all know
killed.
whatever happened with MS Dhoni, when your private information is up on Twitter, okay, is on for public view, and Sakshi gets trolled. Now, this gentleman was saying there's absolutely no comparison with the Gur Meher Kaur. Here we are using the Gur Meher Kaur as a classic example. How people, when they stand up for certain issues or make a statement, get trolled to a level where people question their morality and mores, and they even happily tweet about their jobs. I mean, what do their jobs or their personal lives, how does it matter? I mean, how can you even assume that somebody could be so could be so morally depraved and just go on writing whatever you feel like. I feel there should be some kind of a law in place where, you know, debates and trolling, whatever people can go about is moderated, because you can very well put on any anonymous name, put on flowers or whatever on your profile picture and get away with writing anything. So, I mean, why can't the government take a stand against the trollers once and for all and say what is incorrect is incorrect? Simple as that. Let's not make their lives simpler, that they can get away with it.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring in Atul Vasan here. Atul, for someone who represented India as captain, who brought back the World Cup and made us proud so many times, to see his wife being trolled in this disgusting manner, we should all be embarrassed as a country right now that we're not taking a stronger stand in this young lady's defense.
I think it's shameless and my head hangs in shame, you know, but what can you do? There are plenty of depraved people who take this sadistic pleasure to hide behind this monster we have let through the gate called social media. You know, in timeline, if you see earlier days, people used to send pigeons, then started writing letters, then probably sending faxes, then emails, then WhatsApp, and now this easy way of just sitting here, taking out your frustration and just inane comments and you know, intrinsic nature coming out. So what do? I mean, they hide behind the cushion of the system where if I chase somebody who has actually insulted me, it's going to take ages for that. So what does people do? People lump it. You know, so there are two issues there. What happened? Information went online. You know, these scams will happen, these scandals will happen, these cyber attacks will happen. These things are normal. I cannot actually, you cannot absolve yourself, indemnify yourself against that. But what happened after that is what defines us as a society, and that is the problem.
Atul, you know, some of this stuff is absolutely deplorable, but this is one of the mildest things, and this really upset me. And I've been a cricket fan for a very long time. It says, and this person's name and photograph is easily visible. Abhishek Mohanty says, "तू चुप साली, तेरी औकात क्या है एक educated आदमी से question पूछने की?" How dare he? Who is he?
Yeah, chase these people down. I think I hope somebody takes the onus and chase these people, because they can't hide. And I think, okay, if I was Mahendra Singh Dhoni, I will hire PIs, you know, and chase them down. And somebody has to take the bull by the horn and make an example of these guys, because it's too easy just sitting in your bed writing these things knowing that nothing's going to happen. And I think this monster of freedom of speech is actually going to its limits. You know, people are taking it, making a joke of it. So I think everybody should wake up, and you made a good point. Actually, and
I fully agree. I fully agree with Atul.
Rape, you know, can you imagine?
How freedom of expression is
offense is that?
And to add to what Atul says and what Abba says,
it's about any woman. It's about
if you don't kill it here, if you don't catch these guys, if you don't convict them, this monster is going into hundreds of heads, thousands of heads, lakhs of heads. Where will it stop? You have to set a precedent. You have to take action. Once you take action, that fear should be in them that the law is going to catch up with you. That is most critical.
Right. You know, and you know, when we say that it's very easy to hide behind the internet and to make statements and nobody will catch you, we need to track you down, it is not as hard as it seems. Manas Prata has said, privacy की बात करती है, जब IPL में छोटे कपड़े पहन के तुम privacy तब नाच रही थी, तब तुम्हारी privacy कहाँ थी? Who the hell are you? How dare you?
And this is mild.
This is mild. This is mild. This is not the stuff that I cannot read on it. Anup says, does she have manners or etiquette? Does she think the government is at her disposal? Her husband is a cricketer, not a statesman.
In the last 40 years.
Who does she think she is? And I want to bring in Ritesh Bhatia here, who's a cyber security expert. Ritesh, how long will it take to track down these people?
Not more than 2 days, I believe. See, we have the expertise, we have the resources, we have the technology.
Where is the evidence that we have the expertise and the resources, Ritesh?
We have all the evidences. It is there online. Okay. I think what is primarily missing is the intent. The intent to catch these guys. There is, because if you look, in this last 1 week, there have been 5 arrests made of certain cyber bullies who trolled for the UP Chief Minister. So in a week's time, we had 5 arrests.
So and it's possible.
I mean, there's a proof in front of you, Faye. I mean, 5 arrests. You've been reading the papers every day. Almost every alternate day, there is an arrest. there is a particular guy who also says, okay, look, I'm from Alwar, from Rajasthan, and this is my MP. Dear President, please come over here and visit and see the state. And he's one of those guys who's also trolled Sakshi Dhoni. So it's very clear, we know where this guy is. And the bullies will just get stronger and stronger. In fact, after the last show that we did on Gurmeher, if you would have seen, she has deactivated her account. So here is a victory for the bullies. Do we really want that? In fact, so this also proves, and the second thing is, many of these bullies have actually now gone ahead and deactivated their accounts, and they would have come up with the new ones.
With new accounts.
So which shows that the media is now more powerful than the law enforcement agencies.
But Vikram Singh is the media more powerful than the law enforcement agencies? Have the law enforcement agencies completely lost their teeth?
Chase these people down and sort them out,
I would say, Faye, that show me the man and I'll show you the rules. Too little, coming too late. Just see what our expert panelists have said. Abha ji and Sujay Kantawala have given lucid account of what we can do and what we are capable of. Yet, it only happens when we go after a political VIP that the police and the law enforcement agencies wake up. Otherwise, it is one of the routine crimes to be relegated into background of police archives. It is a thing that we can do, we have done earlier. In the case of Gurmeher, I had made a suggestion. You just declare a reward, a monetary reward, and you see his brother-in-law and his friends and cohorts will hand them over to the neighboring police station. But we choose to look the other way. The IPC makes it punishable. The IT Act makes it punishable. Abhaji has given lucid sections of the Aadhaar Act, the IT Act, Section 43A, Section 72A. And you have it in you. The IP addresses, it is like changing my name. But the fingerprints don't change and the footprints don't change. If I want to get after the culprits, I only have to get after them. Just pat the back of my cyber experts, and it is just so simple. It is the easiest crime to tackle is the cyber crime. The wilderness of the internet and the wilderness of the cyber world is not something that is impregnable. If we choose to get after them, it is only a matter of
Let me bring in Anupam Saraf on the same thing. Anupam, I want you to respond to what Vikram Singh and Ritesh Bhatia are saying, which is that in the last couple of weeks, given the number of arrests that we have seen in reaction to trolling and what was disrespectful things that were said about the UP Chief Minister, we've seen arrests.
Chief Minister.
Why aren't we seeing arrests in this case, Anupam? Okay, I'm not sure if Anupam can hear me. I'm going to go back. I'm going to take this question back to Raman Malik. Raman Malik, if we have you said, of course, that you've been trolled personally as well and you've put up with it. But obviously, there are cases when they have been arrest made, and rightfully so. Anybody who trolls any individual, who is disrespectful to them publicly, who is threatening to them publicly, who threatens to kill them, should be behind bars because they are breaking the law. Why was there no arrest made in the Gurmeher Kaur case? And why is it that nobody has made a stronger comment in this particular case, Raman Malik?
See, two things I'm again and again reiterating. Please don't compare the two cases. In Gurmeher Kaur, there were two issues which racked up.
Why not? A crime is a crime, and a victim is a victim. Aggressor is an aggressor.
A girl was...
in fact, the Gurmeher Kaur case was worse because there was a clear threat. Please carry on then,
rather than I saying something, you can say for me. No, there were two things in Gurmeher Kaur's case which we must not forget and the nation must not forget. There was something which she said, which according to me also as an individual was against my armed forces, for which I am very proud of. That is one part of it. But attacking her personally was totally wrong. Totally and totally wrong. And for your information, the person who threatened to do all the wrongs to her happened to be some Mr. Banerjee who was associated to Krishna or Kanhaiya, whatever his name was.
So why was he not arrested? I don't care who he was associated with. Why was he not arrested?
Actually filed a complaint.
There were no arrests. Why was he not arrested, Mr. Raman Malik?
No, and it was a BJP activist who filed a complaint, not Gurmeher.
Fair enough. So the BJP activist complaint was not actioned on.
A BJP activist actually filed a complaint.
Fair enough. Why was there no arrest? You've just told us you know who that person was. You know who he was associated with. Why didn't the Delhi police make an arrest?
That is number one. When coming back to Sakshi Dhoni, one must understand that she and her husband should not let this go. She and her husband should not let this go, because this has been going on for too long. Even before social media came in, there were people saying anything and everything about anybody on the pretext of freedom of expression. How many of them have been brought to books? Calling somebody names, calling somebody a maut ka saudagar by a person who is a member parliament was not acceptable. Is that freedom of expression?
Okay, Raman Malik, you made 2 points. First of all, you said that you disagreed with what Gurmeher Kaur might have said or said in her video. That makes absolutely no difference to the case and the legality of it. Secondly, you said that obviously the BJP person filed the complaint in that case, for which we are very grateful, but no arrests were made nevertheless, and that shows that the Delhi police had absolutely no intention of making an arrest, and that is reason for us to introspect. Secondly, you have said, one second, you had your say, we all listened to you. You told us not to interrupt you. Now don't interrupt me. Secondly, Raman Malik, 1 second. Sure. 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. Let me make my points. Secondly, you said Mahendra Singh Dhoni and his wife should not let this go. They should come forward. They should file a complaint. Abbas Singh, do we need to insult the former captain of the Indian cricket team any further by telling him to come forward and file a complaint about his wife and the kind of treatment she has received on the internet? Can we not, as a society, as a government, as a law enforcement authority, come forward and just take suo motu action?
Definitely, there is a provision for suo motu cognizance, and the cyber cell of the police should have taken a cognizance. But the tragedy is that the cyber cells in this country are very weak. There are not sufficient manpower. The policemen want to be in the executive postings, they want to be DCPs, they want to be in thanas, but they don't want to go to cyber, because neither does it have the glamour of a posting, nor does it have the money which they get in their haftas and all. So as a result, our cyber cells are understaffed. Otherwise, had they been sufficient, they would have caught hold of the trolls, tracked them down. But since they are understaffed, these cases take years to come up, and that is the reason that the trolls are emboldened to write anything about anybody. And that is why no action is taken. So first, on priority basis, cyber cells need to be strengthened, and these people need to be brought to book, even in the case of
Sujay Kandawala, I have a question for you.
I have a question for you. Politicizes by saying,
I only want to say one thing.
You talk about two women who are being trolled. Do you not want to make the women safe? You talk of empowering the women, and if you don't make them safe, everything
I want to add to what Mr. Vikram Singh said.
You talk of Beti Padhao, and you are talking of girls being...
Abbas Singh, 1 second. Abbas Singh, 1 second.
The latest thing.
I want to add something to what Mr. Vikram Singh said, and I want to say that, Mr. Malik, you said that Mr. and Mrs. Dhoni should not allow this to go, but Mr. Prasad has himself said, he has assured that this is serious action will be taken. So the government is assured that serious action will be taken.
Mr. Prasad has said serious action will be taken for leaking the information about their person. But where is the serious action about the trolling?
That's right.
Where is the serious action about the trolling?
That follows.
Ritesh, you brought this up. In the 5 arrests that we have seen, done because of objectionable things that were said about the UP Chief Minister, who filed the complaint? Was it the individual in question? Did the UP Chief Minister come forward and file the complaint?
Not at all.
Who filed the complaint?
I think there were some of the political parties themselves, or they are...
It was a third-party complaint.
They were third-party.
So then is it fair for us to assume that Mahendra Singh Dhoni and his wife Sakshi should come forward and file a complaint? They're the only ones who can put a stop to this?
No. I mean, I think more important than the complaining is, aren't we seeing a big rise or a rapid rise in the cyber world, in the trolling and in the bullying, and how powerful these guys are getting? We are talking about anti-Romeo squads to protect the women, offline. But what about the dignity and protection of the women online? What about that? We had such a beautiful law like Section 66A in the IT Act, which was scrapped. So I think if we have the intent, and if we really want to secure our women and their dignity, it's a question more about the dignity online, not only of the women, even of the others. So they need to get back the law, and they need to take some action,
if I may,
make certain arrests, so that a message goes to these bullies that, look, we are not going to take your shit anymore.
Absolutely. And I want to bring in Saira Shah Halim here. Saira, this is about, Vikram Singh, this is about women. Vikram Singh, at the end of the day, here are the things. After all, it's a cheap trick by a Bihari bride. Privacy चाहिए तो picture क्यों बनवाए अपने? अरे तेरी bedroom की photo थोड़ी डाली. This is about women. This is about us not being able to protect our women. This is about us not writing a law that is strong enough to protect our women. This is about us, Vikram Singh, I apologize to you, not having a police force that takes women seriously. If someone says something about the chief minister of a state, yes, they would be picked up immediately. But when something like this happens, we'll say, no, 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 let her go forward, let her file a complaint. And let me tell you, and let me tell our audience here, I have accompanied a young lady not long ago to file a complaint when she was molested, and it is not a comfortable situation. The police ask you several questions that will make you want to go back home irrespective of who you are. They'll say, oh, आपको तो कोर्ट आना पड़ेगा, आपको तो गवाही देनी पड़ेगी, आपको तो बार-बार बुलाएंगे हम लोग. क्यों फाइल कर रहे हैं आप? Over and over again. We have no intention to protect our women, Vikram Singh. It's all lip service.
So true. So true. Absolutely lip service and rhetoric at its worst. I would say that when it's a political VIP, the police and the cyber cell come down like a ton of bricks. But when it comes to Sakshi Dhoni, our national hero, a Padma awardee, this third party FIR should have come suo moto. It has not come, and I'm very doubtful. But there is a silver lining. In Noida itself, you may have read that there is a news editor, a lady news editor, who was threatened of rape, and the person who was the aggressor was picked up from Gujarat. Where there's a will, there's a way. If you choose to go the full hog, there is nobody to prevent you from doing it. But again, show me the man and I'll show you the rules. I don't know what prevents the police from pursuing them so vigorously and getting after them. Pick up the top 10 trollers. Since I have applied my mind to this after the Gur Meher show, they are not any number of people, they're not in hundreds. Pick up the top 10 or top 25 of the trollers, and I think you will have solved the issue to a very great extent. Put them behind bars, give the fear of the law unto them, and you will see that there is a marked improvement in the trolling crime, as you would see and perceive.
Well, Atul Vasan, this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen. We saw this happen with of course, Anusha Sharma. We saw her being trolled after a certain cricket match. It's automatically like sports people and their entire families now getting dragged into this. Every move is being watched, and people feel like they can say whatever they want. People feel like they have certain ownership over the dignity of these individuals. And unless we come out and are very, very clear, like you said, make examples of these people so that anyone who wants to troll in the future will think twice before they type anything on their cell phones.
Yeah. Yes, I think, and the consensus is there in this debate. I can't see any divergent views. Everybody is appalled by this, and we have talked this before. And people are talking sense also, knowing the system, in living in this country, we know what are difficulties. But, you know, sometimes in life, if you got to stand for something in life, otherwise you fall for everything. So sometimes, I mean, it's not about the case about he is Mahendra Singh Dhoni's wife. It's about any person. This should not be allowed. And if somebody doesn't make an example of these people, and if it could be vigilante justice, you know, even for that, because if your system is not capable of handling things like this, which they might consider minor compared to the kind of burden they have got in murders and rapes and all that, they might consider this frivolous for them to chase down. But somebody has to make example. If this happens, like a Negotiable Instrument Act, you know, it was hard to chase down people who bounce checks, you know, it's getting harder. Now you can get hold of them easier. So I think if the law keeps pace with it, if some people come out, spend their time and money, and even if they're not going to gain out of it, at least make an issue of it, things will fall in place.
That's very well said, and I want to point out what Atul said about murder and rape, that the government might be taking this lightly, thinking that, you know, we have more important things to do with murder and rape. But Saira Shah Halib, this is the sort of thing that leads up to murder and rape. If we don't stop this now, we'll embolden these criminals to take things further.
Absolutely. It's there's a new term known as online mob lynching. So, you know, where people are virtually lynching people and going about writing anything. It's almost akin to, you know, being physically assaulted. The kind of verbal assault that people in public life have to bear the brunt of is not funny anymore. And I also want to make a valid point here. We might come to a consensus and know that whatever is happening is wrong. But when would we actually, you know, gain some kind of a redeeming, when the government will actually take cognizance and put these people back in their place? I mean, anybody who is questioning the policy of the government doesn't become an anti-national or doesn't, you know, shouldn't become susceptible to an online assault of sorts. I mean, it was absolutely within her rights if Sakshi Dhoni talked about something that's gone amiss, but that does not mean that people question her morality, her antecedents, and so on and so forth. And same with Gurmeher Kaur or any other person who's actually stood up for an issue. We as citizens are watchdogs of the government, and we are pushing the human race forward. We are ensuring that society moves forward as the nation grows. So I don't think there's anything wrong in it. In fact, people should applaud when young people take a stand and take cognizance of what has gone wrong or gone amiss. And it's good that Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, the minister, took cognizance and he took ownership of the issue and tweeted about it. So I would request the other ministers also to take a similar stand and take ownership of issues, because the government sometimes might bungle up somewhere, but the idea is that nobody is above board, and if people have bungled up somewhere, take cognizance, take ownership, and I feel the citizens of India would appreciate it if people take cognizance and also redeem themselves. Yes.
And I also want to say that the trollers are watching this show. I'm sure they are watching this show. They should have mortal fear. Any positive statement from the government that, look, we are going to take immediate action, and beware, that would send very positive signals, because this is a ring of perverts. We need to kill their intentions, otherwise this will keep on growing, and we cannot afford that.
And more people will join in.
That's right.
You know, and this is a very good point that Vikram Singh made. Ritesh, I'm going to come to you. Are these repeat offenders?
You have to publicly shame them, you know.
Yes. Yes. Are these repeat offenders, Ritesh? If we round up the top 10 or the top 20, will we be sending a clear message to everybody?
Yeah, from whatever I have investigated in case of Gurmeher or any, I generally follow many journalists
and
also.
Probably their family members are also following them. They should be actually publicly made to own up to their statements, because if the family also knows that this is the kind of depraved person they have raised, or he's so frustrated, I mean, public shaming in society also probably can be so there's a cultural solution to all this also with the families. If somebody is actually seen doing like this, also brings shame to the family.
Ritesh?
Yeah, I completely agree with what he says, because, if there is no intent from somebody else, at least we can do that. Now, the thing is, to answer your question, are these repeat guys?
Yes.
Well, some of them are. And, I follow a lot of journalists. I've been following Gurmeher Kaur also, and many other. Yes, by and large, they are these repeat guys. And, very surprisingly, if you see on the sheet that you have, the printouts or the tweets, you have a clear photograph of that person. It's not like it's an object or anything. There is a particular name also given to it. So you have a picture, you have a name. All you need is the IP, even a little bit of social engineering or a little bit of research on that person, and you can come to know a lot about him. And, and because he's made such derogatory and defamatory and abusive statements, I'm sure you could, hold him up, if not arrest him, question him, and that would scare most of the people.
What if not arrest him? Outraging a woman's modesty under Section 354, defamation.
No, I'm saying if you're so scared to make an arrest, if there's no intent to arrest, at least have the intent to question
I don't understand why we don't have an intent to arrest. Raman Malik, I know you wanted to come in for a while. Why don't we have an intention to arrest? Why aren't we making stronger statements?
See, I want to give a suggestion. Right here. Abhaji is a very good lawyer. Let her frame a complaint. Please send it to me. Please send it to Vikramji, Atul Vasanji. Let's all of us put it right away. Today itself, if she gives us. I am not a very good drafter of a complaint, but if she does it, I am willing to go forward and file it. Let's do it.
Raman Malik,
it's also our responsibility to act.
I respect that. Raman Malik, I respect that. If Abha Singh's complaint also includes the fact that no arrests have been made in the Gurmeher Kaur case, will you also forward that to the right people?
See, forwarding that, I will tell you my example. Somebody very close to Digvijay Singh
question with a simple answer,
threatened to kill me on the Twitter. He suddenly vanished But nothing has been done since 2013.
So we will add your case to the complaint as well. But my question is, if Abha Singh's complaint includes the fact that in the Gurmeher Kaur case, there were very clear threats, which is a very clearly a non-bailable offence according to the lawyers on the panel.
You cannot compare the two cases.
No, we're not comparing. I'm saying, will you forward that complaint as well?
You cannot compare the two cases. The Gurmeher Kaur case had two different aspects to it, which you cannot compare. Will you forward
that complaint as well? It's a very simple question. Yes or no, Mr. Raman Malik?
Aspects you cannot.
Yes or no, Mr. Raman Malik?
Tell me what were the
I would definitely forward a complaint about somebody heckling her. But at the same time, I would not stand by her statement on my
You are condoning the behavior that we saw online by saying every time with the caveat that I don't stand by it, I don't stand by it. Nobody cares. In this country, if you don't agree with me, that doesn't give you the right, that doesn't give anybody the right to threaten with rape and murder. My question to you, Raman Malik, is very simple. If the complaint includes the fact that the Delhi police has not made a single arrest in the Gurmeher Kaur case, and you accepted, you know who the offender is, which means the police should also, if they have your intelligence collectively, should know who the offender is.
I will forward that complaint.
You will forward that complaint.
As history gives me.
Abha Singh, will we write out that complaint, please?
I would forward both the complaints. I would become a complainant in both the cases.
Definitely.
For anything said derogatory about a woman or a man, irrespective of the gender.
Was quashed. Supreme Court also said that we need a law. We need a law with the increasing cybercrime.
That is where both the cases are
Supreme Court also at once upon a time said.
That is how both the cases are similar.
But then from Vikram Singh's time, when there was nothing recorded about doing anything about, if somebody crossed the modesty of a woman, challenge that. From Vikram Singh's time to now, there's been a startling big difference.
What is the difference?
No, but
where there were no complaints registered, now there are actions being taken. So things have evolved. It's not that our society has not evolved.
And anybody who trolls would be picked up immediately.
Let's ask Vikram Singh. Vikram Singh, do you believe? In fact, do you believe in the state of Uttar Pradesh?
There's a girl by the name of Deepika Narayan Bhardwaj. She spoke about the CCD event, the Cafe Coffee Day event, the issue of misuse of law, and she was heckled by another female. All abuses were given to her. There are lots and lots of cases like this, and this is where I'm coming to, that this is a problem from the society within, and we have to rectify it.
Understood.
It cannot be just done by the law, it has to be done within.
Right, let me bring in Vikram Singh.
I must compliment you.
Vikram Singh, I will come to you.
I must compliment you, Mr. Raman Malik, for taking a very bold decision today of volunteering to be a complainant in all the cases. And also say that for the first time, we have taken a very proactive decision. A decision perhaps to file a complaint in which all of us will be signatories. It is a moment of very great satisfaction for all of us, and let us take a step forward without, of course, apportioning further blame on each other and saying that this case is different, the other case. Mr. Raman Malik's case is very important. That of Gurmeher Kaur is equally important, and this case of Sakshi Dhoni is equally important. All the three cases are important, and we cannot differentiate. Every Indian citizen has basic and fundamental rights and right to protection and equality before law, and therefore a complaint that is made out, and Mr. Raman has promised to take it forward. I must compliment you for this bold step taken by you. We are all right by your side, Mr. Malik. Thank you so much, and I'm sure Abha ji will draft a foolproof and a fail-proof application.
But sir, I would also like to ask you something. Would you stand, would you, Abha Singh and the rest stand about somebody calling your Prime Minister a psychopath? Will you stand for that?
How is that relevant to the question that we're asking? Raman Malik, we just all agreed that any sort of trolling is illegal.
No, that is relevant. That is also trolling.
Law should be same for all.
That is also trolling.
I agree with you, Mr.
Yes, that is also trolling. The law should be uniform for all. Nobody should be allowed to troll.
There is one more information which I would like to bring. There's one more information, and it is very important.
All right, Raman Malik, go ahead. What is the information
There's a very important
information
regarding to Aadhaar. Please let me say that. There's a very important information about Aadhaar. Let me share it with you. That Aadhaar site has a safeguard that if you activate that, your biometric details will not be visible to anybody. That portion is there in the website. Please, all the viewers who are watching this, please practice that. That is available there online also. If you check, you will know how to activate it.
Default.
That should be done by default. I shouldn't have to go on to the Aadhaar website and click on something. I don't know how many viewers knew of this up till now, and how many viewers don't know about it. Like, there should at least be a public service announcement telling people.
So that the number once put in.
But let's not get derailed from what we're talking about. I want to go over one second. I want to go over to Anupam Saraf, who hasn't spoken until now. Unfortunately, Anupam, I apologize. Anupam is the former CIO, Pune City Information Technology Advisor to Manohar Parrikar. Anupam, are we in a dangerous world right now where trolls believe they can get away with anything?
Yeah, firstly, let me condemn the trolling. Hello.
We can hear you, Anupam. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Firstly, let me condemn the trolling that has happened. I think any trolling on social media is bad. I think one of the reasons why trolling happens is because somebody raises an issue which is important. And I must compliment Sakshi Singh Dhoni to actually have raised this extremely important issue about the manner, ad hoc manner in which enrollment is taking place. And I must compliment the Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, for responding. However, I think his response should not stop at saying that I have simply suspended an agency for 10 years. I think the rot in enrollment process is far older and far longer. And I think that is extremely dangerous for the nation. Since the enrollment started in 2010, September, there is
Anupam Saraf, I want to focus on the fact that there has been trolling. And while Ravi Shankar Prasad condemned the sharing of personal information, he has not condemned the trolling so far.
Well, please let him tell you the basic of it.
One second, Raman Malik, let him
and
speak.
basically the whole point is that a troll gets activated in order to distract from the very, very important issue which has been raised. If we ignore the issue that she raised, then we will be doing her disservice, because the trolls would have succeeded in blocking what she has actually been alerting us to. So the main issue that she has been talking about is completely put under the carpet. I think it's important for us to focus an entire debate on how the enrollment process has happened. I myself have been a complainant in 2013 to point out the flaws in an enrollment process where a bank, which was not an enrollment agency, was undertaking enrollment. The person who took up the investigation was no less than a Deputy Director General of the UIDI at that point of time.
No, but Anupam, let me ask you this question again. Anupam, do you believe that if the trolling is a distraction from the issue that has been raised? Anupam, one second, Anupam.
So I think it's important.
If you believe the trolling is a distraction from the issue that has been raised, do you believe that this activity of trolling is an organized activity?
Yes, absolutely. It's an organized activity in order to prevent people from actually focusing on the issue that has been raised by the person who has come up with an absolutely correct issue. Just as trolling is bad, it's also blocking people on Twitter, or on social media, which is bad. And no less than the CEO of UIDI has blocked me on his official Twitter channel for asking him questions as to why he is in contempt of the Supreme Court of India in forcing Aadhaar down the necks of all the Indians.
Right. Ritesh,
so I think
I want to focus on this, and Anupam has said something really important, Ritesh, that this is an organized activity, and you have evidence. You've looked into the fact that trolling right now, whether it's of journalists, whether it's of authors, whether it's of people like Sakshi Singh Dhoni, it's an organized activity. These are targets that get pointed out and then go after them. Ritesh.
I wouldn't say it's like completely true, but yes, the bullies, Twitter and Facebook has become a breeding ground for the bullies. So they are just looking at any kind of issue.
But is it organized? Do you believe it's organized?
Some part of it is definitely organized.
How do they organize themselves?
What happens is they actually connect themselves. They know each other somewhere. They connect themselves, and these are the people who will use those fake profiles. And they just continuously, they keep breeding, and they make a big network of people, and then they divide their tasks. Okay, look, today on Facebook or on Twitter, we just go over here, we see something, maybe it's anti-national, maybe it's something else, and let's start trolling.
Abha Singh, do you believe?
120B conspiracy, straight
Conspiracy?
IPC,
You
conviction,
believe? Okay.
120B, straight.
Abha
And there is
Singh,
an
this-
unlawful assembly.
Is this an organized activity, Abha
It
Singh?
happens like that. It is organized. It is an organized activity. People, there are certain PR firms also. It has come to my knowledge that they have certain accounts, 100, 200 accounts, and they put them on the job. They pay them to write certain reviews. They pay them to write certain comments, and that is why it is necessary that we have a very strong and active cyber cell which looks into this. It is definitely an organized crime. This trolling is coming out to be.
Vikram Singh.
Birds of a feather flock
There's
together.
another important
People
issue.
of similar.
We must not forget
One
that
second,
there
Raman,
are
Raman Malik, I'm going to Vikram Singh. I'll come back to you. Raman Malik, I'll come to you for closing statements, but I've asked Vikram Singh. Yes, Vikram Singh, go ahead.
I was saying that birds of a feather flock together. People of likes, predilections, choices, they collect together. They have a groups of their own, and they decide a day ahead whom to troll and what to write and how to bully. This may not be the rule, but it certainly is an exception and a thing to take note of. Under pseudonyms, under acronyms, and under various guises, it is absolutely pointable and discernible by any intelligent investigator to find out who are these gangs and how are they operating and with what purpose. It is not rocket science to see that 10, 15 people, 25 people, 100 people collect, as Abha Ji is saying, that perhaps they would like and get paid for some consideration to like, dislike, or to write something obnoxious or write something positive.
Saira Shah Halim, how is it that invariably women are targets, and secondly, that these trolls wake up one morning and all wind up like a mob being, in the same place?
Because the trollers are obviously misogynistic, so they would target women, they would target people who they deem as anti-establishment. So they will start trolling, and I completely agree with my other co-panelists that it is a completely organized activity, okay, and we have to find out who these organized trollers are, who have got away so far so good. They've got away with utter rubbish, they've got away with abusing women journalists, people who have taken stand on pertinent issues, and
not
people forget about it the next day.
Being anti their stance.
They have not got away.
Exactly. Sorry, not anti-establishment. I am going to rephrase myself. It's anti their stand. Now, another thing is that we need to understand that when we put, coming back to the Aadhaar, here it's private companies, okay? Now, the private companies are collecting very personal data, using the government's shoulder. So this is actually a very vulnerable position to be.
And
so
in fact, the question of privacy and the question of the sanctity of the Aadhaar database is something we've taken very seriously on Mirror Now as well. It is an ongoing campaign where we ask the government not to use third-party vendors at all. And this is an example of what happens, Ritesh, when you use third-party vendors. But to focus on the issue at hand, Sakshi Dhoni, one more among several women targeted by organized hate groups online. Anupam very rightly pointing out to distract from the problem that she has brought up. But what we need, if you have anti-Romeo squads in Uttar Pradesh, we need an anti-trolling squad, which is effectively the cyber cell of the police. But they have done absolutely nothing when it comes to defending women. They have not made an arrest in the Gurmeher Kaur case. They have not filed a suo moto case in this particular instance as well. And they've taken no action. We need the government to come out and be very, very clear that this sort of behavior is unacceptable. Until you do not seem serious about truly protecting the daughters of this country. You do not seem serious about truly saving us from the Romeos and from those who tease us. Come out and say something about it. Tell us that you're serious. Show us that you're serious. Actually make an arrest. And as far as this show is concerned, I will take Raman Malik up on his offer. We will write a complaint about A, what has been done, here in the case of Sakshi Dhoni. We will also include the fact that no arrest has been made in the case of Gurmeher Kaur, and we will include the fact that Raman Malik himself was quite concerned from having received a few threats on Twitter. We will file all of that and we will hand it over to the police and we will expect action. Thanks for watching.